All right. We are live.
We're here.
We are here.
We are an hour late, but we are here.
Yes, and so thank you for hanging out for our hangout.
Yes.
I would say that when I say that you'll understand, it's only because I believe that anybody watching this that would be in our situation would absolutely do the same thing. We had the opportunity to eat dinner with some Pixar employees
This evening.
So, when they're talking and we're having good conversation going back and forth, it's not something you necessarily leave.
Yeah. So that's why we're in a new location. We're in our kitchen.
We're in our kitchen. We literally opened the door, ran in,
grabbed the laptop,
opened it up. So yeah, this is literally going to be the most raw Cars 3 discussion. The one thing I will say that's pretty darn cool is we were also lucky enough while we were at the restaurant having this discussion. I'm seeing some more people come on here. So just to backtrack one quick second, for anybody that was here earlier and is coming back now, thank you.
Yeah.
Apologize for the delay. Like I said, anybody in our situation would have absolutely done the same thing. Unfortunately, we had a live broadcast scheduled, but at the same time, we were able to eat dinner with some Pixar employees tonight. And it was something that we definitely did not want to pass up. And it kept going because we were having some fantastic conversations.
Yeah.
But what was awesome is there was a TV in the restaurant. And as we were eating, all of a sudden they're like, oh, look. So we got to actually watch
the ESPN exclusive look with Pixar employees who worked on Cars 3.
Yeah, so it was pretty darn exciting to see their reactions and just how it was all going. So thank you again for your understanding. We can't wait to talk about this. Of course, as usual, we usually like to bring somebody on. And we have hang on a second, let me flip over to that. We have Giovanni who's going to be joining us. And so say hi, Giovanni.
Hello there, everyone. How you doing? Good.
Yes, absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're glad to have you here as well. Give anybody just a quick background about yourself. So you're in an animation program, just to give yourself, like why you're a special guest on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, sure. My name's Giovanni. I'm a huge Pixar fan. I'm also a 3D animator. So currently I over in San Francisco at the Animation Collaborative. So, that's my dream, be a Pixar animator. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Absolutely. So that's perfect. And obviously we're friends with you. You hearken from Michigan where we're at. So we're excited to see your journey as you're continuing down it as well. Throughout this, if you have questions, you can ask them right in the live YouTube stream if you're watching that, and Julie's going to be monitoring some of those. You can also use the hashtag Cars3PP. Just pause that so that way I'm hearing myself talk on a slight delay. So yes, Cars3PP if you have any other observations too, and we're happy to discuss some of those questions that you may have, like I said, or right in the YouTube video. So like I said, we were in the fantastic position to be able to watch this with some Pixar employees when it came on, to see their reactions, talk about our reactions, some other good insights as well. But Giovanni, let's actually go to you. So where were you? Were you just watching TV? Were you watching the whole thing, or did you anticipate when it was coming on? And when you saw it, what were the first things that you thought?
No, I was scrambling. I tried to find it, and then eventually I went, I probably missed it, knowing me. So, but I was waiting online to see it pop up, and thankfully the Cars page posted on Facebook, so I scrambled and watched it and was just totally blown away. The intenseness of the trailer, it's just amazing. It's got me so hyped. So absolutely is blown away by it.
Fantastic. And anybody watching online, if you have any thoughts as far as just your initial reactions, be sure to let us know. I am actually going to, although it will be without audio, just as far as how the streaming works for this, we're going to just visually show the trailer as well. So we'll just go ahead and watch this along right now. And I'm going to hit play in a second here. Hi, I'm back. Try this one more time, because there's some great visuals in here. And of course, we'll, like we usually do, break it down. Giovanni, do you see that too?
Yep, I see it. Yep.
Fantastic. So the beginning of it here, we've got the standard teaser that came along.
Yep, back in November.
Okay.
All
So
right. It's it's really funny. Like I've watched that trailer so many times already since like it came out, just however long ago. And I'm like watching it. I'm like in my head. I'm like hearing the lines that were like going over those parts in the trailer. Like I just loved it. So yeah, great stuff. So
yeah.
I love this. This was like our first glimpse at Mac with his new overlay. You didn't really get a good chance to really look at him. And again, when we first watched it, this is the first time I'm watching it like
On the computer,
close,
right?
because we saw it and it was a screen high above and on the wall. But it's really cool that you got 3 glimpses of Mac, and it's got new Lightning McQueen stuff. And I know we'll get into it, but we saw the actual size Lightning McQueen with the Cars 3 new paint job at the Detroit Auto Show yesterday and today. So that was really cool.
Yeah. The one thing that we can say, or a couple things that we can say from our meeting is actually one thing with the Detroit Auto Show, Lightning McQueen, he is the only one that is actually 100% to scale. If you see him in any of the parks or anything like that, it's actually an 85% scale. So in case anybody didn't know that, that's something that we actually learned, which was very interesting today, that this Lightning McQueen that's part of the Detroit Auto Show is true to form, true to size. So had you heard that at all, Giovanni?
No, that's like surprising now. Like I don't have to compare it because like I think of the one in Cars Land that rolls on Radiator Springs. So now it's going to be interesting to see this one and just see how different they compare. So yeah, very cool. But did not know that.
Yeah, really cool insight. So any comments that we've had that have come in or anything? That's
not quite yet. Just a lot of people said they're excited.
okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. So let's take a look and break down. So the beginning of the trailer here. And by the way, Giovanni, when we're talking, are you seeing us, or are you seeing the screen share that we're doing here?
Screen share right now.
Perfect. Just want to make sure we got it going proper at this point. We're on, like I said, different machine, different computer, because we're doing this all differently. So the beginning of it here, this is all what we had seen.
Yeah.
And let's correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see anything in the beginning part that was different from the standard teaser trailer.
No, yeah, it seems pretty the same to me.
Which makes sense because it's called the extended sneak peek. So we get to Lightning. He starts fading. We see where the long pause. He comes in and he crashes, or almost crashes before they go black here. And then so now we get this overlay into the stadium here, and just the sheer number of the high walls on this thing. I mean, like, look at these cars up here. And I'm trying to see what else here. We've got all the different cars in the trailers in the middle. And we've got the Grand Ole Oil Company Raceway.
Which that's new.
Yes, I haven't seen this raceway previously. But look at, even on Lightning here, just the lighting, the way it's hitting it. I know it's totally motion blurred, which is obviously what it should be. But just as he comes through here, I mean, that is...
looks so shiny,
ridiculously real, and that's something that we're going to obviously continue to see. And here's where the first time we're actually seeing this angle.
Yes, of Lightning actually coming to contact with the pavement.
I was shocked to see this. I didn't think this was going to be shown in any trailers. I thought it was going to be something to be saved for the film, because it took me off guard really when I saw it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's a beloved character. You're like, no, you can't get hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was quite a shock. And just look at all that debris that's just kicking off him. As soon as he hits, the sparks fly. So we got another period of black there. Now, yeah, as you were talking about with Mac, beautiful lighting. You got the water, going over the bridge with those deep, deep shadows. And look at this. I mean, just the lighting and all the details that are involved here, just ridiculous. Now, call me crazy, but I feel like we've got something back here in the clouds. Are these like a partly cloudy reference? Is there anything in here?
It doesn't appear that to me.
Okay. Did you see anything in those, Giovanni, at all?
No, nothing too much. Maybe Toy Story clouds. I'm not sure. But no, I get any cloud. No, nothing partly cloudy though.
All right.
I think you've been up too long.
That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, just the cool shadow, Mac going even in the water there.
And this is the angle where you can really tell that Mac has a new paint design, I'll just say, because right behind his cab on that right-hand side, you can tell that's a new part. It's like a bluey kind of.
You're talking like right here?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think that is?
I don't know, but it's new.
Yes, it certainly
new paint.
is. Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? This bridge right here reminds me of Hilton Head Island going into the island.
All right.
And I wonder if that mirrors it. Because I just was there this summer, and it looks like the bridge that you take from the mainland to the island, because it's kind of marshy and stuff like that. Just hit me.
Okay, so
that's what it looks like.
So our smart readers that might be NASCAR fans, what tracks are right over there?
Well, there's nothing on Hilton Head Island.
No, I know, not on the island, but
4 miles long.
What's over in that area?
I don't know.
There's got to be a raceway that's over there that they might be headed to. Could be. Oh, wait a minute. Could that be when they're going to? We've seen the scene where they're training on the beach in the concept art. Are they going to Hilton Head to train,
or something,
or like that type of area to train? Is that where they're going?
I know a lot of people on the live chat are asking and wondering, I should say, if we're going to see Finn, Holly, or Francesco. I don't.
Oh, Francesco! I would love to see Francesco.
Well, okay. So if you'd love to see him, though, would you actually want to see him in the movie, and do you think it would fit?
The only way I think it would fit, I think you would just have to have some sort of purpose. Maybe Francesco had retired. Something, it would have to be something tied into something. Maybe, after Cars 2, Francesco McQueen formed some sort of bond. Maybe someone to talk to about that in a sense. Because we hear like certain characters, some voices I didn't recognize. We'll get to like talking to McQueen about in the trailer, like, oh, you need to think differently, or you'll never be handle these racers ever again. So you're wondering like, who are these people he's talking to? Francesco could be one, but could be anybody.
Yeah, I don't know who was. I don't know the character. Mm-hmm. But that voice is, in my opinion, and people online, and Giovanni, Julie, you tell me if I'm wrong, that's Chris Cooper's voice. And for anybody that doesn't know who Chris Cooper is, I pulled up a picture right before we jumped on here. It's not going to be an elegant picture, but this is Chris Cooper.
Wait, for whose voice?
The one that Giovanni was saying is the guy that says, if you want to win, you got to think different. You're never going to be the old Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, I'd have to listen to it again, but I can see it.
Anybody else feel that way? I feel like without a doubt that was Chris Cooper.
I'm going to have to listen to it again now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave me something to think about. But I think that if Holly, Finn, or Francesco, or anyone from the Cars 2 franchise are going to make an appearance, I can see maybe Holly making the most sense, since they kind of tied that to Mater, but I think that they'll stay away with that. But if anything, I think it'll be kind of like the Tank Gang in Finding Dory. It's very small, could be kind of comedic or something at the end, or like a quick thing, like a video clip or something, because of like the raceways, or if Chick Hicks is back and he's interviewing someone, something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be back in any type of major role myself. I think, in fact, there was a comment that somebody had posted in the forum that talks about, how much are they going to talk about Cars 2 in this, and some of the ways that, if it's going to go back to the feel of Cars 1, how are they going to address those things that happened in Cars 2? And I personally don't think they're going to address it all. I think it's going to be its own standalone story.
Yeah, I don't think they need to, because I feel like Cars 2, it was a race. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they don't need to talk about all the races. I think they're just, it's moving forward onto this race, and Lightning McQueen's next chapter in his life.
Yeah, and that was definitely a Mater's movie too. And now we're focusing back on McQueen, so I can see it definitely why that past story wouldn't really have any connection to this one. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this again and see what else we get in here.
We also have someone inquiring about if the King would make a return. I feel like the King might be kind of like Doc Hudson, not around anymore.
Mhm.
Interesting. There are rumors that his son will be there, but that's only a rumor, nothing that we can even hint at or confirm or anything like that. You know, so this view in the truck.
I love this. This is it just really shows at like just a physical sort of thing, just like how McQueen has evolved as a character. You know, it's just a great contrast to like his, you know, the inside of in the first film, just that more gaudy like sort of life. You know, the glitz and the glamour, and now it's gone to just how he's, you know, taking a more simple life and more this simple interior to the trailer. So I really love that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But when I saw it, when I was looking up, I said, "Gosh, it's gritty in there. It also feels old." And just even like looking at the top of his car, he looks all dirty. You've got this greenish gray lighting in there.
It's very sterile, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a spooky way. In like
Yeah.
a he's down on his luck kind of way.
With all the dirt on him, I wonder if this is sand. Is this after he did his training?
Oh, could be. Because
Yeah.
we're if you keep on going, we're gonna see a dirt track.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay, so we're back to the Speedway of the South here. This summer. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about some Jackson Storm. So what are your first thoughts, Giovanni, when you see Jackson Storm?
I really love that design. I really love, you know, it's similar to McQueen, but at the same time so different. And I just really love the angles and everything. I just the hard edges. I really digging his design. So
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that they tied it into his wheels too, like the blue tones.
mm-hmm.
And this
It's
is
very Tron-esque.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had one of our friends, Paulina, that messaged us on Twitter that said that as well. Very Tron feel for sure. And I love this that they talked about at the auto show, that the S here is it's a tweaked version of it, but it's the international symbol for the hurricane. And
Yeah, for the hurricane symbol.
right. And just the fact that they he's, you know, Jackson Storm, and they put that in here. And then we also talked about this too. These orange elements, the little triangle down at the bottom, the orange circle here, and he's got orange lug nuts. It's so subtle, but I think it just speaks volumes.
It adds to it.
Yeah, he's not just blue. He's got these little touches that really just make him stand out. And they obviously, you know, we talked about, there's one of the descriptions that talks about how he trains on all the latest high-tech machines. So you can see he's on, some type of treadmill. It looks like the track's coming up over on the left here, you know, zips underneath him and then goes under the right. You've obviously got the smoke test to see the wind tunnel to see where that smoke travels, how aerodynamic he is, and then all the little techs, the tech workers in this back window here.
Mm-hmm. Little pitties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, something. I know there's been like talk like what is Jackson's number, and the way I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong if it's been confirmed, but like I see 20, like he's number 20, but that little dot in there, like the separation in the two to just give that, you know, also saying 2.0. I just feel like it was a really nice design of you know, keeping 20, but also having that, of course, the next model in there as well. It's a really nice design.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Just 2.0, kind of saying that it's the next generation of racers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely ties into a lot of those. Julie talked about that on our last hangout, and it's just, that's such a cool little thing that you can, is he 20? Is he 2.0? It's a nice...
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yep. All right, let's take a look at a couple more of these. So you got the wheels spinning here while we're zooming in. Yeah, you can see the ground, you know, going and zipping past a little bit here. And this, so we've got all the tire sensors. So it looks like we've got over here Florida, up top it says Virginia, down below it says Alabama.
Cool.
So I'm assuming that these are the different tire pressures that he has, like they're selecting the track and it's changing the PSI of his tires on the fly depending on what track he's on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously like, you know, super high tech. So yeah, so they're going to talk about force and drag, wind tunnel speed, 25 miles an hour, 35, 40, 50, 55. And this has to be one of the coolest things that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Does this exist?
Well, I don't know if that exists, but there was a couple things like it at the auto show where you could sit in something like this and drive it.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a car in it like that, but there was quite a few things, simulation tests that actual people could sit in, and it would be just like this. So I understand the concept of this technology being used for a car.
Yeah. So what are they saying here? We're talking about turning force, tire radius, speed 210, oil, turning total. I mean, what did you think when you saw this part, Giovanni?
I thought it was really cool. It really shows just like how well trained and that Jackson is. Just just like how it said in the description, how he was designed, and we really get to see that here. And I think it's going to be a great little montage in the movie. I hope we get to see even more sort of shots like this, different other tests as well that shows him just training, to be the best. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are actually talking about, they're inquiring about Cruz Ramirez and Sally, and they're wondering if it's going to be like a love triangle. I don't believe so. I believe that Cruz is, well, she's young and she's a trainer, and I think she's just helping there. She's like a BFF. She's like your platonic best friend.
Yeah.
Well, it says in one of the character descriptions for her. I'll even pull it up here because I'll go to this. So can you see this that I just pulled up, Giovanni?
Yep.
On our website here. So yeah, so it's this sunny but fierce unconventional trainer at the Rust Ease Racing Center. So she's somebody that, and it talks about that she's a lifelong, her longtime idol, Lightning McQueen, shows up. And so she's realizing that this is my opportunity to talk to Lightning, to work with Lightning. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really, she's doing her job as this Rusty's Racing Center trainer.
Right.
So that's actually an element that I want to explore a little bit. What did you guys think about this Rusty's Racing Center, the discussion of it, and like, is this where they're training? Like, does he open this up as kind of like you can come train here if you want to be a race car driver?
Yeah, I'm really curious if this is been a building that's always existed, or as time went on, like as Rusty's, Queen kept winning more, that it just, the company just started to grow. I'm really curious to see a lot of that because, who knows what could be.
Right. Yeah. The Racing Center. I mean, that's something that's definitely extremely intriguing. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I think it has to be something that came about as time went on. I don't think they had the money. I mean, if you look at like how their displays were, the Dynaco display had the helicopter. It had all these big things. It had fireworks. Theirs was essentially just a tent with a couple spotlights.
Right. Yeah.
And rusty cars.
And rusty cars.
Rusty and dusty.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see Rusty and Dusty in the next movie?
I hope.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And Fred, if not Rusty and Dusty, Fred, because we know, unfortunately, one of the brothers,
the Magliosi brothers. Yeah, I think it was Tom that he passed away. Right. I'm not sure if it was Tom or Ray off the top of my head, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, what they do. But I think as far as from a sponsor standpoint, they could definitely find their way in it without it being awkward because they wouldn't feel forced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they are in it.
Geez, now you're bringing up Fred. Like now I'm really hoping like he works there or something. Like he runs like the front desk and he's just biggest fan. So many possibilities now. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe like his like bumper is all rusty.
Yeah.
Like it's all chrome, but that's the only part of him.
That's it. Yeah.
He's been using it for so long. That would be a funny gag.
Yeah.
That is one of the best gags in the first Cars movie, by the way. The fact that like the fine print that comes up at the very bottom that talks about like, actual usage, like 30 weeks or something like that. Yeah. Love that one. Okay, let me go back to I'm obsessed with this thing, this trainer that he's on here. And it definitely proves that he is, you know, the top trainer. You talked about that description. I'll go back to that again real quick too, just so we can read that from the other day. So yeah, fast, sleek, ready to race, a front runner in the next generation of racers. Storm's quiet confidence and cocky demeanor are off-putting, but his unmatched speed threatens to redefine the sport. Trained on high-tech simulators that are programmed to perfect technique and maximize velocity, Jackson Storm is literally built to be unbeatable, and he knows it. Just incredible. Jackson Storm. He's one of these characters that you're going to love but hate.
Yeah.
Because you can't not love something that stinking cool.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a little bit different maybe than Chick Hicks.
Oh, yeah. Chick Hicks was just straight cocky. I guess he is too.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know who you would dislike more. I think you'd like him, like Jackson Storm better, a little bit better, because you think that his design is.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
I would be a Jackson Storm fan. What about you, Giovanni?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because you can't not love just the look and everything. I am really curious to see, because I feel like he again, he will have that cocky aspect, but he'll be much more toned down and serious compared to Chick. So it's gonna be really interesting to see that. I'm really curious. I was a big Chick fan, but it'll be interesting to see how Jackson is as well. So
yeah, we're seeing another racetrack here, the Rust Belt Raceway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love seeing all these new tracks. This is great.
I can't believe how many of them they showed in this. So
yeah,
we got another sponsor here. So Frostar air filters. I wish I could see what this thing. Oh, it's just another Frostar air filters. So, and then this is Copper Canyon, another raceway here as we're zipping to the next one. It's almost like they're cutting it here, but it's just showing this montage of him just crossing the finish line with no one even close to him over and over.
And I think that's what it's going to appear in the film. I think it's going to show you a bunch of these kind of images. I don't think we're going to see like full races, but I think it's going to be like quick.
Right, and there's that one shot in the trailer where you hear like, you know, third win for the rookie, because I was thinking the same thing. I feel like there's going to be this part where it's just going really quick over a long period of time, just to show Jackson's like rise. So I feel like we won't like go into the movie with him already being like this really big name. I feel like we'll maybe see a quick glimpse at his rise to stardom. So, you know.
And what I actually like about this particular scene is, if you notice the cars in the background, none of them have anything that say Jackson Storm. We're seeing a lot of 64. We're seeing tank coat, Lightning McQueen. Is that toe cap?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, there's not a Jackson Storm like with a number. Who's number 64? Why can't I remember this?
Isn't that gosh, I can't remember it off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, we'll have to look. Anybody
Fiber Fuel?
Anybody online, you guys can come up with this one. You know this.
But
64.
So I feel like this is when Jackson Storm first comes.
So
whoa.
So he doesn't have the fans as of yet, but he's going to get them.
Yes.
This will be like a Strange Things part from like Toy Story. You'll just have like that Strange Things, but instead of Buzz posters being put on the wall, everyone just starts swapping over to Jackson Storm headgear.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh, well, we know he wins Copper Canyon because here's like the celebration. And here's where you were talking about, like, you know, the rookie, he's 3 in a row. So we got the creators of Dory and Inside Out. All right. Where is this abandoned barn and why are they there?
Well, we can't answer that. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm just asking the question. I don't know. I'm just intrigued.
Waiting for an answer.
The other McQueen paint job here that we start to see in these few shots, which is really interesting as well.
Yes, with the metallic overlays.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this thing. So what are we seeing in the background here? I mean, this is run down. I mean,
64 is RPM. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's awesome. So thank you guys. 64 RPM. So he's obviously a big fan in the Copper Canyon area. So in the back,
don't you feel like this was like an old
raceway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, because I'm even seeing like PISTO. So it's obviously like an old Piston Cup
Oh yeah, and then, the next shot, the next wide shot of the stands. Yeah, there's a Piston Cup sign too. You get a better glimpse of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So is it Thomasville Speedway? It looks like that's what it might be.
It could have been one. Well, and it's a dirt track, so it was probably something regarding the King, or not the
Doc.
King, Doc. That's what I meant.
Yeah, and an old Gasprin logo. Yeah, let's go back to this. What does anybody think online about this? Rusty's that he's got with the gold metallic. I mean, I don't want to taint the waters here by saying my opinion on it. But like I said, I'm obsessed with it. I want this die cast, and I will buy this if it's big. If they make like a larger scale version of this, I think this is super cool how his name comes down the windshield like that, the gold metallic and the Rusty's across the back, and it flips around on the other side. It says Rusty's too. What do you think about it, Giovanni?
Yeah, I loved it, and I'm really curious to see which design we see more in the movie. Like if we're going to see, that crash happens early on, it could possibly, this is what he gets after the crash. And this is what we see maybe more throughout the movie. That's something I was really curious about once we saw this other design. I didn't know what we'd see more of. So.
Right. Yeah. So obviously just showing the complete barrenness of it. So this could be where he was on that dirt track, not necessarily on the beach where he's afterwards potentially in Mac.
Yeah, because he did have that paint job.
Right. He had that paint job, and he had, all the dust and dirt and grime on him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not over. But then they go right back to Jackson Storm just completely blasting by everybody. And by the way, for as many times as they've got him blasting by people, shouldn't he always be in the lead? or is he lapping people? So another view of Copper Canyon here. Gaskets tent in the background. More RVs in the upper left over here. You can't get enough RVs. I love looking at all the fans in the stands. Dynaco, we've got some race debris again, all that on the ground.
Just crazy seeing the progression, just from like Cars 1. Because I know we were really in a stadium for Cars 2 a lot, but like looking at this from like Cars 1, just like how far it's come, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and just look at I know we talk about this just visually a lot, but the visual beauty of this, all the color contrast here, this like night sky coming in.
The reflection on the cars from the lighting, from those super bright lights, stadium lighting.
Right, which we saw before, but really if you see this thing in high definition, and I know it's not coming across that way on the screen share, but it's leaps and bounds better. It's crazy.
Okay. Love the varied angles we get too throughout the races. It really keeps it exciting,
Yeah. Now we see another hit quick there of lightning taking off after the pits, which we saw before. Trying to see if I see anybody else in the stands even as we're going past these. Okay. Let's talk about this dirt race. Obviously, we know he's got his go right to go left, but why is he number 15?
Well, he's dirty.
Is it covering the 9?
Yes.
You think so?
I do, and I think something wiped, like I think he got wiped as a number 15 or something for some reason.
Oh. Who else history-wise is number 15 in cars?
I think that he got muddy on purpose to be in this race.
Oh, to mask himself.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Julie!
That's great.
I'm stopping screen sharing. Stopping screen sharing. That's a revelation. I'm out. Bye.
I could be wrong, but that's what I thought.
Wow. That's pretty good. Well, and you had also made the prediction, this extended teaser showing us that Lightning McQueen really hits the ground and scraps. The last time you had said that you didn't think it was, or you thought it was a dream.
Yes, I did.
Which sure looks like that's not a dream.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case.
But I feel like that dirt track one is him.
I bet that's a Cruz Ramirez she's telling him you need to get better at this, 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 and I bet the dirt is,
I think it's mud.
yeah, but I bet the dirt is some type of like, like Jackson Storm has all that tech training. I bet she's got some old school way where like the dirt can simulate some of this like maybe sloppiness of certain tracks and all this other. I like that. That's really good.
It'll be a great contrast just to show you don't need that high tech, to be trained like that. Like it very nice. I really do like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't need the best pair of sneakers to run fast.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, we're done with this hangout. We're done with this hangout. Julie just cleared the deck. That is fantastic. That is so genius.
I wish I knew if I was right.
I know. And really, we're not hinting at anything, seriously. So no bars, bail bonds. We saw this before with Thunder Hollow. First off, special effects. Hello, tires exploding.
Oh, yeah.
How cool is that?
Special effects and simulation teams.
Yes.
They were busy with this scene.
Yeah.
I can only imagine Luigi watching these tires just explode, his reaction to this.
Yeah, hang on. I got to watch this part here, too. Just look at these things just blasting off. So they got tires around these barrels that are full of, obviously, some type of explosive, clearly. Man, why didn't we think about that? We saw that he was number 15 before like that, too, in the last one. Holy cow. That really is a game changer. I'm speechless. I got to get back to this dirt track. Okay. So what do you think as far as from an animation and simulation standpoint, from your background, into this, what do you think when you see this type of scene? Is this something that would be complex for you?
For me, absolutely, because I don't do effects, but I give major props. I have friends who do animation effects, and just like the process behind it that goes into perfecting it, and just the patience behind it. It's just amazing. Like this is just, I love how like in this trailer too we get a glimpse of so many different locations and whatnot. So it really shows just the diverseness they try to put with throughout the film. And I'm just that fire scene. I'm really really stoked to see it.
Yeah.
So.
And then, okay, so we've got Lightning McQueen looking at the number 95 here. And obviously you're hearing like lightning in the background. So what are your thoughts here? Like, is this like as ominous as it seems, like where we talked about before, like where he's looking at his number 95, like he's not even sure if he is 95 anymore? Like, does he live up to the Lightning McQueen number and name?
Oh, go ahead, Julie. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No. I just really think this will definitely be a moment of just reflecting on everything, and also seeing that shot. Like I'm like how huge like the Rusty's Racing Center is. Like I'm just really curious to see even more of that as well. I just thought of that too while we were watching that shot.
Okay, so you assume that's what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean logically it makes sense, but we shall see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What any other comments that we have out there on that one?
Oh, just people excited, just saying lots of stuff.
Saying lots of stuff.
Liking the theory about the mud thing that I had said.
Yeah. All right. So just overall from an animation standpoint, Giovanni, obviously let's use your resources here too. So we talked about, not necessarily from an effects standpoint, how that blew my mind, and how you said you give good credit to those folks. But what are your thoughts on like the animation, the direction, the angles, everything that they chose?
Oh, I love the angles. Especially with racing. I know, going around in circles. Like I really feel like angles just really sell it. And I'm trying to think what else I could just.
Are there any challenges that you saw, like something that seemed exceedingly tricky, either in movement or style, pacing, anything like that?
I would just say making those angles work, because I know camera work is so important. Just like, the camera is a character itself, just animating around those as well. So I feel like that's a huge thing that plays into well. It's just not a camera. Like they're animating that camera to create that and all. So I really feel like that's an excellent touch as well, because that's something I try to focus on too now, is trying to play that camera more when I work on things, and it really just adds a whole new dynamic to it. So
yeah, that's great input. We actually don't know who's doing anything with layout on the camera side,
camera or lighting, but I'm really excited actually to learn more about who's doing the lighting, because in the extended clip that we were able to see at the Detroit Auto Show yesterday, the lighting to me was key. It played a very important role in the feel and the emotion that you felt for the characters in the scene, the clip that we were shown. It's kind of like how I described how when you watch Toy Story of Terror and it slowly gets more in violet, purpley indigo as the movie goes on, as like the cleric takes power. And I felt a similarity between that and Jackson's Storm.
Yeah.
And Lightning McQueen.
Absolutely.
I can't talk about the clip, but it was good.
Yeah. A couple other things. Somebody's even mentioning, will Dusty the plane be in the movie? I don't think we'll see any planes cameos.
I don't think it'll be crossover.
I mean, it was the other way, where there were a couple like Cars character cameo type things that were over in the other. Paulina says Julie's always right. She's awesome at her predictions.
Well, except for one prediction's not going to be true.
Well, I guess we don't know. I mean, we saw him skid out, but chances are that doesn't look like that's a dream any longer. Has Lizzie passed away? I mean, we'll find out. We don't know really how many years forward this is. I don't think they've said exactly. I mean,
so he's 40.
Yeah, he's 40. So, I mean, Lizzie would definitely be up there in age.
That means he was like 29 when the first Cars was out.
If it follows a true to life timeline. Yeah. A race reunion between Chick Hicks and Lightning. Maybe Lightning has his own Racers Academy, as the same as in the video game Racer-O-Rama. That's always a possibility. And there was one other one that I had saw in here that I wanted to mention. Somebody was asking about Sally and McQueen. This comes up on the forum quite a bit. I've seen people tweet us this. So let's get people's thoughts, whether it be comment on the video or Giovanni or Julie. Are Sally and Lightning officially a couple? Are they, well, we know they're together, but are they married now? This comes up a lot. People really want to know this.
Well, that's interesting. Now, I feel, I know, because I know we've seen Lizzie and Stanley's wedding before, so maybe it's something that happened during this timeline. I don't think it'll be something we'll see in the film, possibly, but it could be something that could have happened since then. But I feel like I really am excited to see Sally McQueen's relationship though in this film, because I really feel she'll just be a great person to stand by him through all of this. I know we didn't get to see much of her in Cars 2, so it'll be really exciting to see her in this film in that position. So.
We also have, I mean, I know that we were talking about, we believe we're going with it, that the 15 is he just made a number that he could out of his 95. Mm-hmm. Somebody else just said they did look it up. No one's number 15 that they can tell from any of the racers, mm-hmm. whether it be even a history, like a throwback thing or anything like that.
Well, and it wouldn't even be racers that are within that circuit. It's going to be racers that wouldn't even know those kind of cars.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like
I didn't know
hillbilly kind of circuit. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
It's like a demolition derby.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me go back to the bottom here, see what else we got as far as, so yes, Hannah, you're welcome. We answered about the Lightning and Sally. I don't think they're really going to talk much about it, but I agree with Giovanni. I'd like to know what happens with their relationship. I mean, let's at least touch on it, because, people are going to wonder if they're together, if they're shown as being together.
I guess I don't.
No?
I don't. I'd like to see her, I guess, but I don't need her to be part of the story.
Yeah. So, and maybe this is a Polish gent. He's always on here. So Ola, I may be over analyzing on this one, but I think what causes Lightning to skid out of control was due to the fact he commanded Guido to hurry up so he couldn't get back, so he could get back to the track before Jackson does. So, okay, I saw that theory come up quite a bit too, as far as people talking about that. What are your thoughts? did Guido get everything done? Did he do all 4 tires? Or was it the way that it was edited that makes it look like he maybe missed a tire or did something maybe a little bit incorrect that could have caused Lightning to fumble there?
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
I think that it's just Lightning McQueen pushing himself too hard.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you hear a weird noise?
Do I hear a weird noise?
Yeah, I hear a weird noise. Sorry. Sorry, it's bothering me.
It sounds like it might be a fan at Giovanni's house. Do you have a fan going?
No fan in here. I don't know what that could be.
That?
No, I don't know. Maybe it's in our basement. I don't know. We might have a monster in our basement.
Oh, okay. Maybe Sully's down there.
Sorry. I'm just like, gosh, for like the last half hour, I just keep hearing this noise. Maybe I'm just tired.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. Any parting thoughts that we have on this for the trailer itself?
No, but we didn't really touch on the Cars auto show event.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. That was so much fun. First off, it was incredible to see John Lasseter walk out on stage and talk about cars.
Yeah, first time that we had seen him in the flesh.
In person.
Where he was literally, I mean, if I extend like this and you extend like that, it was about that far.
Yeah.
That was thrilling in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And as Giovanni predicted, because we talked about it ahead of time, he came out wearing his signature black Cars.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I was excited to see that. I was like, yep, the classic. So.
Yep, you knew he was going to be wearing that black one. You totally called it. So, yeah, he came out. He mentioned, and we wrote about this in our post, so if you haven't read it, you can also read a wrap up there and see some still photos that we took as well of his portion of the discussion.
And there's actually a bunch of other additional Pixarians that came out that weren't affiliated with, like, that weren't Jay Ward or Jay Schuster.
Yeah, the
2 Jays spoke at the event along with John. But there was a couple other Pixarians that were in the audience that were surprises to us because we were like, oh my gosh.
We talked about it in the post. So Bob Pauly was there,
Mm-hmm.
which if you don't know, I mean, he's been there since the early 90s. He's the very early days working on Buzz Lightyear and such. So, I mean, that's amazing, the production design work, because he was the production designer on the first Cars movie as well. So, I mean, he's obviously got a history there. And James Ford Murphy was here as well. If you know him, he directed Lava. And he actually, we found out that he directed the little Cars previews that were out earlier in the week. Where it shows
the 3 character profiles of Lightning, Cruz, and Jackson Storm.
Yep. So that was actually really great to see them there as well, to stumble across these other folks. Lots of friendly faces. We ran into Stanford Clark, who writes on Animation Fascination. He hightailed it over there from the Bay Area the day before. He came over from California all the way to Michigan the next day. So that was actually crazy to see him there.
But then they rolled out Lightning McQueen, the full scale Lightning McQueen with the Cars 3 paint. I know we talked about it when it first came out. When we first started the hangout, but that was really cool to see, and people went nuts.
We joked about this. So John Lasseter walks on stage at the beginning of it, and everybody's quite polite, just taking pictures, doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, like, the whole presentation ends, and Lightning McQueen comes out.
You would have thought it was like Bono.
Yeah, from U2 or something. Yeah,
coming out.
People are rushing the stage. They're literally leaving their seats to get up there to take a picture of it.
It was really cool because people get so excited because it's Lightning McQueen.
But it was cool too. It was also a great photo op just because that was where they had both Jay Schuster, Jay Ward, as well as John Lasseter up next to Lightning McQueen. So it was kind of wrapping up the whole event. It was definitely a good photo op.
That was cool.
Sure.
But that's how we felt about the speakers. You're like.
Yeah, so John did his intro as far as talking about that his dad was a parts manager, his mom was an art teacher. He talked about that.
His trip.
Yeah, his
family.
The family trip that inspired his RV trip that inspired the movie Cars, that he learned the lesson, that it's not the destination, it's the journey. And then also talked about, there was actually a really funny line. I wrote it in the post as well, but you didn't really come across, you couldn't get the full feel of it, where he talked about how, he bought toys with the company credit card for the first Toy Story to do research, and just how he did it was just great.
Yeah,
go to Toys R Us and just buy all these toys for research.
Yeah, that was cool. You could hear like the excitement of his voice, even still now, because obviously Toy Story 4, he's probably still doing that.
Yeah,
he's still going to Toys R Us and buying toys.
Yeah, now he's got people that do that for him.
That's true. You never know.
And then where was I going to say from there? So then he talked about the inspiration of the auto show, just basically saying that his first research trip for him and the crew was out to the Detroit Auto Show in 2001. So he wanted to, pay homage and not only bring out Jay Schuster, who's the production designer, and Jay Ward, who's the creative director for the Cars franchise, out on stage. They showed countless. We couldn't even show all the pictures in our post, but we did do a
Facebook Live.
A Facebook Live. So if you haven't seen that, you can see some of the different concept art that the Jays put up on the screen. We'll call them the Jays.
The Jays.
That they put up on the screen to show, the different challenges that they went through. And it was really interesting hearing them talk about Cruz Ramirez, that they have to create this female character, that she needs to be strong. She needs to be able to hang with these race cars, but she's not a race car. And it's just the challenges of making something look.
And she's not a girly girl, but she's not quite a tomboy.
Right. So how do you get this character to look
just right?
Just right. Yeah. So you've designed some characters, and I know you did a great one with, so food in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when you're creating your characters, how did you go about, separating between male and female characters?
Oh, I did it like poorly. I did the classic, more so eyelashes, because with food it was really hard. Food was like a really tough challenge.
Yeah.
To try and differentiate that, but also in sort of movements as well. So I know it's going to be with Cruz. I know it's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah. She doesn't have the stereotypical eyelashes, anything.
Yeah,
like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's obviously the easiest way there. Like you said, somebody did ask in one of the comments about Mia and Tia. I have to wonder, are we going to see a Mia and Tia again? Are they still going to be Lightnings fans? Because they were pretty fickle. They would run over to Chick Hicks.
Yeah, like it was nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So who knows? They might be Jackson fans. Who knows by the end of that movie? So
right, right. So then, they went through the rest of the challenges that they had with designing the characters, showing some of the concept art, talking about being old school, drawing it first, then putting it in clay, then translating that into the computer, and how that then translates. And they showed a cool picture of one of the clay sculpts, and they put the sketch over the top of it.
Yeah, and then there was how they said, do half and half, and kind of mold it into one.
Yeah, take half from this part, half from this part. Let's redo it again.
Yeah,
just really cool. And then obviously they brought out Lightning, and they showed that clip. That we were talking about. So definitely can't wait for everybody to be able to see that. There were some elements from this extended teaser that were in that clip, and it wasn't very long. It was 2.5 minutes, so you're not missing a ton of footage if you weren't in attendance or anything. Ooh. So I think we're maxing out.
Sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Giovanni, any closing thoughts that you had seen in the trailer there?
No, just from what I saw, loved it. Totally stoked. It's just a trailer that gets you just really pumped. The feeling of it just gets you really excited, and there's their goal, and they definitely delivered. So
you mentioned some of the dialogue too. Was there anything specifically that you wanted to talk about that we didn't cover of those pieces of dialogue?
No, just really curious to see who some of those characters are, because I know there's going to be so many new characters. So I'm really curious to see just who McQueen goes to, or there's who are the people who are really talking against him. So it's going to be really curious to hear those naysayers. So yeah, I'm really anxious to see how this all unfolds. And
you can mark my words. I swear that's Chris Cooper. So we're gonna.
I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody go listen to it and then pull up.
I'm going to go watch it real quick. I'm going to go in the other room so I don't hear you guys talking, and I'll give you my thoughts.
All right. We're going to hang on for a quick second, and we're going to hear that. We're going to get Julie's thoughts on whether it's Chris Cooper. And if you need to, pull up a YouTube video and, of another video that he's done so you can hear what he says here.
Yeah, Chris Cooper. I know he was in, I think he was in the Muppets, the first of the reboot. He was Tex Richmond. So I was now, because I love that movie. So now especially now when I'm in here, because I loved his whole role in that film. So
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is you mentioned that one. I know a lot of people. I think he was like a buddy of mine really likes Memento, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna butcher that, but I'm think he's in that. And then I think of him in the Bond movies because he's in not Bond, Bourne movies because he's in the Bourne movies. So when I heard it, I was like, he's got a very distinctive voice, and I didn't even think about the Muppets connection. But you're absolutely right, and I own that Blu-ray too.
yeah. So yeah, definitely gonna. I hope Julie. Now I'm like totally curious now. Now you brought it up. So.
I can hear it in the background that she's like listening to it. You can advance past the crash.
And every time I see that, my heart can't take it.
I know it is almost nearly impossible to see lightning in that state. You just don't want to see. You don't want to see anybody in that state.
No, right. And we saw it happen to the King, and we saw Doc like a photo, but like we've seen this character grow. We've been through him for so long, so it hits you even harder now.
Yeah, it's not Doc. It's not the King because it was. You're right. It's only like we saw moments of them. We didn't get invested into that character to where I mean, frankly, we care about him.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to see him fail, hurt, or be down and not the champ anymore. You just see him as the champ.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just what I love. Just that they, character, just progressing the character. Like that's just all, I think this is going to be like the great part about that movie, just seeing this overarching story in the Queen. So.
Yeah. The other thing that was cool too is I'm kind of glad, we got the first teaser. I'm glad that they continued the dark tone in this extended teaser as well. It still keeps that grittiness, that really raw,
absolutely,
and intense feeling. So what do we have, Doctor? Is the
verdict? Yes, it is.
Yeah, all right.
I would bet some money on it. Yeah.
That's literally called panic. We ran in the door, hook up the laptop to get this thing going, and
we literally got into the house at like 10:45.
Yeah. So again, sorry everybody that and thank you for hanging on with us, for watching this. We really do truly appreciate it. Thank you for some great insights and some good questions along the way. Giovanni, thanks for coming on as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a blast. I love getting your extra insights and just your thoughts on it. I know you're definitely a Cars guy, through and through.
Absolutely, yeah. So.
Yeah. And, obviously thank you to Pixar for coming out to the auto show as well. That was a fantastic opportunity. And
I know, it was so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, signing off as usual, I'm TJ.
I'm Julie.
And be sure to stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest Pixar news. Bye-bye.
Bye.